taking charge of their health. Really, my desire is for them to go at the root cause of the problems that they are dealing with and get to optimum health. So today we're gonna cover a question that a lot of people ask me, which is really popular actually, is diet. Okay, what diet is the best? There's so many different types of diet out there that it's confusing. A lot of people would claim that keto diet is the best, or the paleo diet, the AIP, or vegan, or Mediterranean, and there's so many different things. So we need to talk about that to try to remove that confusion when it comes to diet. At the end of the day, we need to ask the question of what your body needs to be healthy and strong, and so on and so on. So if you look at the some studies like the Western Price, okay, Western Price back in the 30s and 40s researched the healthiest population on Earth, and he found 14 populations that actually were the healthiest. And if you look at the blue zones as well, a little bit more recent, if you look at all those research and studies done on populations that eat this kind of diet or eat this kind of diet, who are they healthy, how are they doing, and so on and so on. So there's one thing in common among all these populations is all of them eat some sort of animal protein. Okay, right there, there's a confusion that a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't eat animal protein, you don't need it to be healthy. But if you look at the healthiest population, they all eat some sort of animal protein. The question arises today is the quality of the protein is a big issue. Is the animal protein that we get today are loaded with chemicals, with hormones, with antibiotics, all kinds of pesticides, and so on and so on. So we need to make sure that if you consume animal protein, it's the healthiest and the best version of it. If you look at the Eskimos, for example, like Western Price studied the Eskimos, and the diet was mostly 100% animal-based. As you can expect in the north, they didn't have access to vegetables, to fruits, to nuts, so the diet comprised about 80% of animal fats, and then they would eat about 20% of the diet would be animal protein. And back then, they were the healthiest and the strongest population on Earth. They will live up to 110, 20 years old, and actually Western Price met a guy who, according to them, he was 140 years old. So that shows that this type of diet, it's possible, it's feasible. Of course, back then, everything was clean. There was no pesticides, there was no chemicals, everything was grass-fed and organic, and so on and so on. And then Western Price look at other populations, like in Africa, for example. You look at a tribe, the diet was mostly 80-90% animal protein, animal fat base, and they were healthy as well, no heart disease, no cancer, and then so on and so on. If you look at the blue zone, for example, in Japan, where they have the highest number of people of 100 years old, okay, and older, they all eat seafood and fish. About 15% of the diet is seafood, fish based. So they eat quite a bit of animal proteins from the oceans, from the sea. Okay, if you look at the Greece, Italy, Mediterranean, they all eat animal as well. They eat a lot of feta cheese, a lot of goat cheese, a lot of goat milk. They eat lamb, beef. So they do consume some sort of animal protein as well. So my point of that, animal protein is not the issue. The issue, based on all those studies, is the source, of course, of what you get. Even vegetables and fruits, if you eat bad quality fruits and vegetables that are sprayed with pesticides, fungicides, and they are GMO, and et cetera, it's bad for you. So the key is to make sure that what you consume is the best source possible. So animal protein is not really the enemy to health, because you can be healthy eating animal protein. As a matter of fact, for myself, I use the paleo diet for years to reverse my different chronic issues. I was eating just meat and vegetables for years, and that was mostly my diet, and that allowed me to reverse my different issues like chronic fatigue and Lyme disease and insomnia and so on and so on. So to me, clinically, animal protein is the key. So you need some animal protein to be able to heal the bodies, because they contain the building blocks of what the body needs to heal, to detox, to repair, to regenerate the organs. Okay. The question we need to ask is, how much is too much? This is a really good question. What is the best diet when it comes to macronutrients? Okay, do we need to eat more fat, less fat, and more carbs, less carbs, and so on and so on? So as you can see, or maybe know, we can thrive on different types of diet. I mean, I have people who are vegan, they do really well. I have people who are carnivore, they are really well. I have people who do AIP, they do really well. I have some people who do paleo or keto. Everybody is a bit different, so you have to find what makes sense, what fits your own body's chemistry. But clinically, what I see with people is one of the best diets seems to be the paleo type of diet, meaning no grains, no carbs, low sugar, fat base at the end of the day, with maybe some cheese. Cheese seems to be okay with people, but typically I don't recommend carbs. So that's the first starting point with my clients is, okay, cut out the carbs. So when you cut out the carbs, you give a break to your body to digest better, to repair the bodies, because it takes a lot of resources, a lot of nutrients to digest carbs. So when your carb intake is high, so you actually spend a lot of resources and energy and nutrients to digest the carbs. So when you don't eat the carbs, those resources can be used to repair your body and detox and check direction. So clinically, we know that the key to a good diet is to pay attention to the TOR pathway, TOR, T-O-R. So the TOR pathway seems to dictate what is the best diet for people, what is the best diet to live the longest, the healthiest. And based on that pathway, we know that our diet should comprise of about 80% of fat. Okay, fat, vegetable fat, animal fat, avocados, coconut, eggs, whatever you eat as fat. So your diet, the foundation of a good diet should be about 80% fat. Okay, I talked about it before. I do not recommend a vegetable fat like canola, corn, soybean. These are toxic. Olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, nuts. Okay, like I said, eggs, bacon, red meat, whatever you like. These are all good quality fat. And then we know, if you look at the TOR pathway, there's this two macronutrient that activates this pathway. So when this pathway is turned on, it accelerates aging. So you age faster. So you get older sooner. And these two macronutrients are carbs and protein. So you need to be careful with protein intake. So your carbs should be about 10% of your macronutrient ratio. And then the remaining 15% is protein. So we know that when we studied this pathway, that seems to be the best diet for human and also for animal models like flies, rats, mice, that we use in research to study different types of diet. And we know that when we keep this pathway turned off, you detox better, the inflammation goes down, you feel better, and you slow down aging. Okay, so it's really a big thing right now, because a lot of people are looking into what we need to do to stay healthy as you age. Because if you continue the way we are, this generation gonna live younger than our parents. Okay, the life expectancy is going down actually, and we get sicker younger. And now I see people in the 20s and 30s having issues where we typically see in the 50s and 60s, like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and stuff like that. So this is the key, the answer to this question: what is the best diet? So at the end of the day, all those different diets have one thing in common, and they all recommend to avoid processed foods. That's the key. No refined sugar, no junk food, no fast food, no box food, frozen food. Everything should be fresh. And it seems based on what we know today from nutritional science that your diet should be in the 80% fat. So this is the key, is to get to that point. And it's not really hard to do, actually. If you increase a bit more your avocados, your nuts, your eggs, bacon, meat, etc., etc., it's really easy. So one easy way to include fat in your diet is to do the bulletproof coffee. So most people drink coffee. You can add a tablespoon of coconut oil and butter to your coffee, and right there, that gives you a lot of fat to get started the day. So this is a good way actually to start the day, is to start with fat. So when you do 80% of your diet, what happened is you mimic fasting. So we know that fasting is really beneficial for us to help with inflammation and different diseases like cancer, heart disease, dementia, and so on and so on. So what we realize in nutritional science, that if you eat 80% of your diet fat, you actually mimic fasting, so you get the same benefit. So at the end of the day, you don't have to fast per se if you eat that way. But I always recommend to fast once or twice a week, because fasting is amazing. Actually, it allows your body to repair itself much better, much faster. So this is my 2 cents on diet. I hope it makes sense. If you have any questions, you let me know. You can write a comment below, or you can shoot me an email, which I added my email below the comments. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day. Thank you.